Hello everyone. Today we'll be building expense splitter, right? So I'll just start by creating the HTML file. So initially let me create the HTML file. I'll just give index.html. Also let me create the style file. CSS file. I'll just name it as style.css. Let me go to the index.html and create very basic HTML template. So this is it, and then I'll just change this one to expense splitter, right? I'll just make this E capital. So yeah, let's link the style sheet as well. And I'll just link the style sheet and I'll give the path and name style.css. So let's start writing the HTML code. Initially what I'll do, I'll just take div. This is going to be the parent div and I'll give the class name container, right? So this is first thing. Then what I'll do, I'll just make use of the h1 tag and I'll just copy the same thing. I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it over here, h1. So next what I'll do, I'll just make use of the label tag, and I don't need for actually. All I need is, one second, I'll just give, instead I'll make use of for, I'll just give total. Also here, first let me give total expenses. So next what I'll do, I'll just make use of one input. Type will be, type will not be text actually. Type will be number. Then ID, I'll name it as total. Also, we need the placeholder. I'll just give the placeholder. Enter your expense. Right? Next, I'll just copy the same thing. Label and input. I just paste this here. Here, instead of total expense, it will be number of people. So I'll just remove this one. It will be number of people, right? This is one thing. This is just total expense. Just make this one to capital E. This is fine. This will be number of people, and also here it will be input type number itself. ID will be people instead of total, and also placeholder will be enter number of people instead of enter your expense. It will be enter number of people. So next I'll have one button. I'll just make use of on click event and I'll give the function name split expense, right? And I'll just name the button split expense. This is one thing. Next what I'll do, I'll just take one more div. I'll not do anything inside the div. I'll just give the ID name of result, right? This is it for the HTML. I'll just format the document once. So yeah, let's start styling. So let's start writing the CSS. So first what I'll do is, I just need Poppins font. I just want to make use of the Poppins font. So I'll just search for Poppins font. Click on the first link. Get font. Get embed code. At import. So next what I'll do, I'll just copy these 3 lines. Copy and I'll paste it over here. Next, we'll make use of the universal selector. I'll just give boxing size, border box, margin 0 and padding will be 0. Next, let's start writing styles for the body. So instead of writing the font family, I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it over here, right? Font family, primary font we are using is Poppins and the secondary font is sans serif. So next what I'll do, let me give background color of, this is nothing but the darker background color, height of 100 view height, also width of 100 view width. Next, let me give display flex, justify content, center, also align items, center. So next what I'll do, I'll just make use of, will style for container. I'll just paste this one. We'll give max width 700 pixel, margin 50 pixel, auto, padding 20 pixel, background color white or triple F, border radius 10 pixel, also box shadow 4 pixel, 6 pixel, 0, 0, 0, 0.1. So this is it for the container. Next we'll write style for H1. I'll just copy this one, paste it over here. Margin bottom 20 pixel, also color of 333. So this is for the H1. Next we'll write styles for input. I'll be styling for the input. I'll just copy this one and paste it over here. I'll just take type is equal to number, this one, right? So I'll just copy this one and I'll give here. So I also need input and also I'll give button. So 1 second. Yeah, let's start writing the styles. I'll just give width of calci 100% minus, sorry, this will be 20 pixel. Then let's give height of 80 pixel. Also let's give margin of 10 pixel and 0 horizontally and vertically. Also padding of 10 pixel. Border, we don't need any border, so I'll just give border none. Border radius, let me give 5 pixel. We don't need any outline, so I'll just give outline none. So this is it for the input and button. Next what I'll do, let's style for the button. So I'll just take button. Let's give 1 second. Background image. So I'll just make use of the linear gradient. Let me give to bottom. It will be FF3333. So next it will be FF6666. So next, 1 second. Next I'll make use of the color white or triple F. Font size will be 16 pixel. Also font weight, let me give bold. Cursor, pointer, Also, we'll add transition, background color, 0.3 seconds is, right? Next, we will style for the button, button when hovered, right? So I'll just give button. When hover, I'll just select hover. Let me copy the same thing, background image. I'll just paste it over here. So what will change? 1 second. This will be same. Here the color will be instead of 3333, it will be 6666. Instead of 6666 here, it will be 9999. So next, we'll style for result. So let me copy this one. Result. This is ID. Sorry. This is ID. So we'll give hash. And I'll give, sorry. I'll just copy paste over here. I'll give margin top of 20 pixel. Font size of 18 pixel. Next, font weight of bold, color 333, right? This is it for the CSS. Let me format this once. So I'll just go to index.html. So what I have done is I have installed an extension called live server. So what this does is whenever we make changes in the HTML, the changes will directly get reflected in the browser. So we don't have to reload the page again and again to see the changes. It will be really helpful. You can install it as well. Next, what we'll do, I'll just close this one. I'll just right click and click on open with live server. So for now, this is looking like this. So what we have, expense splitter, also total expense. Here we have to enter the expense. What is the expense? That we'll be writing, and number of people. So how many number of people will be sharing the expense, that we have to give here. And when we click on the split expense, just below the button, like we have to get the something like what we'll be mentioning, each person owes certain amount of money, right? So that only we have to calculate. That we'll be doing with the help of JavaScript. So let's start writing the JavaScript. I'll just create the JS file. So what I'll do, I will include the JavaScript file. It's just below the body, right? I'll just give src index.js. So let me format this once. I'll just move this JavaScript file right side. Let me start writing the JavaScript file. So first what I'll do, I'll just create the function. I'll name this one. I'll make use of this function, split expense. I'll just copy this one, paste it over here. Next, what we have to do, we have to fetch the total expense and number of people, right? For that one, I'll be making use of the variable name total, and also I'll be giving the parse float so that we get it in the form of floating point integers, right? So I'll just make use of document dot get element by ID. This one will be total. It is coming from ID total, this one. Enter. I'll just copy this one, paste it over here. So I forgot one thing. You have to get the value, right? That is the main thing. I'll just add the value. I'll also make use of the variable name people. So for that one, here I'll just make use of the %. So I'll make use of document dot get element by ID of people. So where is people coming from? This one, ID, this input, right? I'll just copy this one and paste it over here. So I also need the value of this one as well. So I'll just give the value Then we have to check for the valid inputs, right? So I'll just comment this one and then write check for the valid inputs. So we have to give the input in the form of number. So that will do if is nan of total or is nan of people or total if it is less than or equal to 0 or people less than or equal to 0, then what we'll give? We'll just give the alert. Please enter valid total expense and number of people. So then I'll just give return. Then what we have to do? We have to calculate each person share. I mean, what is the share of each person expense, right? So that one will be calculating. So I'll just comment this one and write calculating each person's share. So for that one, I'll just make use of variable name each share total by people. Next, what we have to do? We have to display the result with the currency symbol, also with the 2 decimal places, right? So for that one, what I'll be doing? I'll just make use of the variable name result. Let's write each person owes. For the rupee symbol, I'll just make use of ampersand hash 8377. One thing, also we will concatenate each share also to 2. Next, what we'll do? We'll update the result in the HTML finally. So update the result and the HTML finally. So what I'll do is just make use of document dot get element by ID of result. This one ID, right? I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it over here. Then I'll make use of inner HTML equals result. So this is it for the JavaScript. I'll just format the document once. Let me format style file as well as the HTML file as well. Let's check once. So initially, if I just click on the split expense, it is giving me please enter valid total expense and number of people. So if I just give, let me give OK, and if I just give some amount, and if I click on split expense, then it will say please enter. So I have given enter spelling wrong, right? Let me check here. 1 second. So here, right? It should be okay. Let me check once again. Just give the random number 22,000. Please enter valid total expense and number of people, as we have not given the number of people, right? I'll just delete this one and I'll just give number of people 4 or 5. I'll just give enter. Then also it will give the alert, please enter valid total expense and number of people. So we have to give both. So let me give 22 or 20,000 and number of people that we have to split is 5. So let me click on split expense. Each person owes 4,000 rupees. It is displaying correct, right? 4,000 into 5, that is 20,000. So we are getting the proper result. Let me give 30,000 and number of people, let me mention 6 and click on split expense. So now each person owes 5,000 rupees. This is correct, right? So everything is working perfect. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.